Hello, and welcome to the Introduction to SocialExplorer tutorial. I am Paul Byrne, Research Data Services Librarian at Syracuse University Libraries. What we will cover today is selecting geographic areas in SocialExplorer, selecting tables, downloading reports and data, and saving your work. Let's take a look. When you first come into SocialExplorer, this is the screen you'll see. For our purposes today, we're going to show how to get tables from SocialExplorer, so we'll just come up here and click on the Tables link. And you get all the data sets from which you can create your report or extract your data. They have all of the decennial censuses going back to 1790, all of the American community surveys, and even some data on religion. For our purposes today, we are going to use the American Community Survey 2009 to 2013 5-year estimates. And so to start, we'll just click on Begin Report. And you're brought to the page where you can select what geographic areas you would like to describe. One way to do this is to come over here to FIPS codes and select a geographic type that you might want, and then listing all the FIPS codes that you have. Most people don't already have FIPS codes, so this is perhaps not very practical for most people. What will be more practical is to go back to the original and use list geographies. You can start either by using the drop-down box, which lists all the different types of geographic areas. This box is actually the more commonly used one. You can show all the geographies, which are quite a bit of very detailed information. For our purposes today, we are going to select a census tract. And what's nice is that SocialExplorer will walk you through the types of choices you need to make depending on the type of geography you have selected. So we need to select a state, and we'll go down to New York. Now we need to select a county, and we'll go down to Onondaga County. And now you can see we can select all of the census tracts in either the United States, New York State, or Onondaga County, or we can even select individual census tracts. Obviously, if you want to select individual census tracts, you need to know the census tract number. Most people don't know this. You can select individual geographies using the Maps feature, and that is the subject of our next tutorial. So for right now, we will just take, say, the first 4 census tracts. And you can do that by clicking on the top one, holding Shift, and clicking on the bottom one, and then clicking Add. You can also mix and match different types of geographies. So we'll go and select Place, and again we have to select the state. We'll go down to New York, and now we can select specific cities. We'll take Albany and Amsterdam and click Add. Once you've selected all of your geographic areas, you then click on Proceed to Tables. And now you can select what tables you want. You can either use ones that SocialExplorer has created or the official ones from the American Community Survey. You should be aware that different tables are available for different types of geographies. Typically, more detailed tables are available for larger geographies. Of course, browsing through this list of tables can be quite daunting, as there are quite a few of them and they're rather detailed. You can also search for tables by keyword, and just come up here to Search by Keyword, and then type in a keyword, and for today we'll use poverty. And you can search all the data, all the tables, or just specific ones. We'll search all the tables, and then you click on search, and it brings you all the tables that are available that have the word poverty in their title. This makes it a lot easier to find what you're looking for. You can also use some pre-made reports that SocialExplorer has put together. Really, these are just pre-selected sets of tables that you can get from either the list tables or the search by keyword. You can see here there's one for poverty, so we'll select that and add. And then we can come down to next to get our actual report. And here we have our report. The report would look exactly the same if you had chosen specific tables yourself. One thing you can see here is it's showing you tables 1 through 10 of 17, and that's because not all the tables fit on one page. So you can click next and get the next set of tables. You can also see that it's saying geographies 1 through 5 of 8, and you only see the census tracts. You can click on next and get the 2 cities that we selected. You can also change the number of geography items per page, and since we know there's 8, we'll just click on 8 items, and now you get the whole thing. If you decide that you want to make different geography or table selections, you can just come up here to these links and click on them and make new selections. Whatever selections you have made already will be saved, and you can either add to it or change them as you so wish. At this point, you can just go ahead and print out these 2 pages or however many pages from your browser if you like, but that's not typically what most people do. You'd likely want to download either the report itself or the actual data that goes into making the report. First, we'll look at downloading the report, and you can do this in the Excel tab up here. And here are the general options for outputting your tables or report in Excel. Pretty much the default options are what you would want. And finally, depending on what version of Excel you're using, you will want to click on one of these 4 links. For our purposes today, we will click on Excel 2007. And we can just go ahead and open it up in Excel. And here's our report. From this point, you can go ahead and edit this as you so wish, print it out, or do whatever you like with it. And it has the suggested citation and source of the data. So let's close this up. Sometimes you may want the actual data that was used to create that report. And so we'll go over here to Data Download. Again, you have some output options. If you want to use the data in Stata or some other program that uses a tab delimited file, then you'll need to click on here. We will choose Output Column Labels in the first row. This will make more sense when we actually see the data. We'll also output all geographic identifiers. You don't normally need this, but I'm going to show it to you today just so you know. You can also output percents if you like, or output DBF-friendly column names. If you're planning to put your data into something like Microsoft Access, or perhaps even ArcGIS, you'll want to click on this so that the column names are compatible with whatever package you're going to use. And finally, we can come down here and select census tract data. It's a CSV file, or place data. If you have different types of geographies, it will give you a separate file for each of those, and you'll have to use SAS data, SPSS, whatever you like, to put that information together as appropriate. And down here they have the programs that you'll need to read the data into SAS, SPSS, or Stata if you're going to use that. You'll also want to click on and download the data dictionary file. This is just a plain text file that has all the information about the selections you've made. You definitely want to save this for future reference. So right now let's click on and download the census tract data. If you have Excel installed on your machine, then it's probably commandeered this .csv file extension. If you're not going to use it in Excel, then you'll want to just save the file to your desktop or wherever you like. Right now we will open it in Excel just so that you can see what the data look like. And here we are. We can expand this column, and these are the FIPS codes that you would have needed if you wanted to select your information by FIPS code. Here we have all the census tract, the actual name of the area. We also have all of the geographic identifiers, even if there isn't any identifier for that particular geographic area. And as we go along, we have all of our data. So let's close this up. No, we don't need to save it. Now, one thing you might have noticed is that there is no save button in SocialExplorer. If you were to quit from SocialExplorer now and come back to it later, you would need to redo all of your selections, all of your geographies, all of your tables. And that can be kind of a pain if you've made a lot of selections. What you can do, though, there's a little trick here, is if you come over here to this link and click on it, it gives you a URL. And you can copy and paste this link or URL into an email and email it to yourself, or you can come up and open another tab and paste it into the address bar, and here you have your report back, and now you can just bookmark this page. You can come back to it and make new selections for geographies or tables. If you do that, you will need to regenerate the link because it's now a new report and will have a new URL. And that is a quick introduction to getting tables and reports and data from SocialExplorer. Thank you. We welcome your comments and suggestions. Our contact information can be found on the web page.